Welcome back into the Cowboys Report. I know we had promised more minicamp updates. We have to pivot the video this morning. There are 5 players the Dallas Cowboys are working out. We'll break down that and mention the joint practice news for Dallas as well. Before we get into it, we are around 2,000 likes. It's really almost 2,500 likes behind the 49ers report in this month's like battle. I think we can get 2,000 likes on today's video alone. Help us out. Like the video, please and thank you, right now. Let's dive into the joint practice stuff here. So the Cowboys are going to have a joint practice again against the Los Angeles Rams, again, on August 5th. This is kind of becoming a tradition with, the LA Rams visiting Oxnard for the Cowboys joint practices. I think it's beneficial. We'll see if it's just 1 or 2, but that was broken by ESPN's Todd Archer. All right, let's move on to the workouts then. 5 players, and stay tuned. We'll break down all these guys in depth. First up, Perrion Winfrey, the defensive tackle. DeVere, I think it's how it's pronounced. Levelston, who was, both those guys are among the, I guess, better UFL defensive tackles. A pair of journeyman corners as well. Jerry Jacobs, most notably with the Lions, and then Robert Rochell, I would say most notably with the LA Rams. And then maybe the most household name, if there is one, so to speak, on this list, that's George Fant, the offensive tackle. So 5 workouts. It's all broken by Patrick Walker over at Cowboys.com. Perrion Winfrey, Levelston, Jerry Jacobs, Robert Rochell, and George Fant. So of those 5, and I think 0 to 5 are all valid options, although it's actually probably caps out at 3, like you probably only sign 1 DT and 1 corner. But either way, how many players will the Cowboys end up signing? Let me know in the comments section of today's show how many of those players do the Cowboys end up signing, and we'll break them down in depth. Let's begin with Perrion Winfrey. He's getting a workout after off-the-field issues, frankly. Led to his NFL career getting kind of cut short. He even skipped the year from the NFL. So Oklahoma, most notably, spent 2 years there after a JUCO transfer. 4th-round pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. Spent time with the Browns in 2022, and then did not actually make it to training camp with the Browns in 2023. The Jets briefly picked him up, and then he didn't last very long, and the Birmingham Stallions now had him in 2025 with the UFL. He did play pretty well there. What happened to Winfrey back in 2023 was he was actually cut by the Browns after multiple workouts. He had a misdemeanor assault incident in April after an issue with his girlfriend. She also told police it was not the first time. There had been assault accusations there. Eventually, charges get dropped as part of a pretrial diversion program. Then in July, there was a robbery accusation with him when someone he knew tried to say hi, and he lost his cool apparently over it, and flashed a gun in his waistband and threatened him, and then left the phones for police. And the victim was like, we're not going to press charges. Like, a very weird situation. The Browns said, we're done with this. We're done. They cut him. Jets eventually picked him up. He didn't really do much of anything. Got a second life in the UFL. Again, played well. 33 tackles, 3 TFLs, 2 sacks, 4 pass breakups. You'd have to kind of vet the off-field stuff there, which is worth mentioning. Also of note, both Winfrey and Levelston are not like giant hulking defensive tackles. These are more like, could do some technique stuff for you, but they're kind of more of like the Neville Gallimore range of defensive tackles where like, maybe they're better as 3s, which I do find interesting. So I do think Dallas needs another defensive tackle. I question if these actually fill your actual needs overall. So do the Cowboys need another DT? Y for yes, N for no. Let's go to DeVere Levelston. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. This briefly was with the Seahawks last year. SMU, so local product, undrafted free agent, spent 2024 on the Seahawks practice squad. Memphis Showboats this past season with the UFL. Only played 5 games. It's kind of a late pickup there. 13 tackles, 2 TFLs, 2 sacks. I got a buddy who used to know very much how SMU football works. Let's put it that way. Okay, break it down for me. And essentially this is very much a classic UFL player. He can do some run plugging for you. this was kind of more evaluated as like a camp body type of guy. And in general, all these players this works for too. I'm not sure I'd count on them for much more than preseason depth. This is very much the Mom, Dad, can we have DJ Reader? We got DJ Reader at home, and it's these two guys. It's not actually remotely similar. And it's not supposed to be, frankly. More on the other players here to come, but today's show is made possible by Chubbies. Summer is here, and it's time to make sure those dogs are showing properly. And by dogs, we do mean your legs. Chubbies' biggest sale of the year is on $45 bottoms, both shorts and swim trunks, up to 65% off select gear. It is the perfect time to upgrade your wardrobe and refresh your drawer with some elite Chubbies gear. That includes the original stretch shorts, the performance polo, which I am a big fan of, and the classic lined swim trunks. So whichever one you're looking for, or a combination, don't wait. For a limited time, shop Chubbies' biggest sale of the year for $45 shorts and up to 65% off select gear. Hit up chubbyshorts.com/chat and grab your favorites before they're gone. If you missed the sale, it's only available for a limited time. Don't worry. Use code CHAT, C-H-A-T, for 20% off at chubbyshorts.com/chat. Support the show. Let them know we sent you when the survey asks, and turn some heads this summer. Dress to impress in Chubbies. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. Jerry Jacobs is next up here. Now, he started some games in the NFL, also getting a workout. Both these corners the Cowboys are looking out kind of more in the journeyman type of mold, but with some experience. Arkansas State for a couple years, upgraded to Arkansas, undrafted free agent in the 2021 NFL draft class. Joined the Detroit Lions, again, played some games there, and then didn't do much with the Rams in terms of actual games in 2024. In fact, did not play in a game. With the Lions, most notably, he was a contributor. He had 3 interceptions in the 2023 campaign. He's got 4 over the course of his career. This is probably someone who doesn't make the roster, I would think, but like you can't rule it out altogether. This kind of, for me, gets bucketed into like the Andrew Booth, Troy Pride, Kamon Hall, like journeyman bucket of like these guys actually maybe could be your last corner depending on the health is. And even just from a pure numbers game at corner, think about who's going to be available for training camp. No Diggs, maybe Relle day one, we'll see. Andrew Booth's been nicked up. Josh Butler's not going to be out there. Kalen Carson is still recovering from his own offseason shoulder injury. CJ Goodwin is like not actually a corner. Like he's just a special teamer to the extent that he even got like some receiver reps at minicamp, which doesn't mean much because he was a receiver in college actually. They're just thin numbers-wise. So I'm not surprised to see some corners getting worked out for the Cowboys. Now, we are 390 subs away from 217,000 here on the Cowboys Report. Help us get there. Hit that sub button right now. All right, again, a journeyman corner, Robert Rochell. This is looking for his 6th team. He has very much been a bounce around type of player in the NFL. Central Arkansas player over the course of his NFL career for Robert Rochell. 2021 4th-round pick by the Rams, but didn't actually last that long with them. It was kind of a missed pick, if we're being honest there. Seattle, Carolina, actually played games with Green Bay for a little bit, with the Chiefs earlier this offseason, and then ended up getting cut in May. Again, a handful of games, predominantly a special teamer, but he's got experience, some draft pedigree, type of player who normally ends up getting some chances. So of these 5 guys, we'll talk about George Fant here in just a second, more in depth too. Do you actually want the Cowboys to sign any of these players? I'm fine with it, but I also know it doesn't actually fix any of your issues. It's just, I actually think more teams should shuffle the bottom of their roster. I think competition is how you do that, right? 1 for yes, 0 for no. Let me know in the comments of today's show. George Fant is one I went, okay, interesting. I think that is like the most known name. Us draft nerds remember Rochell and Winfrey, and maybe Cowboys fans, some of you guys know Winfrey more from his time at Oklahoma, but Fant played a ton in the NFL. Western Kentucky to begin for his college career, I should say. Undrafted free agent, played a bunch of games with the Seattle Seahawks, the Jets, the Texans in 2023, Ended up going back to Seattle in 2024. He is getting up there in age, but he's got interest. He had previously mentioned the Ravens and Titans had expressed that she had conversations with them. Also mentioned a few other teams. Reasonable to assume Dallas is one of them. He's played almost 5,000 career snaps for the Dallas Cowboys, or in the NFL, excuse me. And when you think about the Cowboys' offensive line, that's a lot, relatively speaking. You have a very young offensive line. Terrence Steele's played a bunch of snaps. Tyler Smith's played a lot for his age, but Guyton has not played much. Booker's played 0. BB's in year 2. You don't actually have much experience on that offensive line. Now, this is a swing tackle option for the Dallas Cowboys. Fant has played over 2,000 snaps at left tackle, 2,042, and over 2,000 snaps at right tackle as well. I do want to go back to that list 5, by the way, Chris. I forgot to mention one thing. Because Fant's got some experience, like in the same building as Aaron Whitecotton, the defensive lineman, or defensive line coach. No, the full workout one. Sorry, Chris. I'm doing this on the fly. It was not part of the script. Of all 5 players. In addition to like the connection between Fant and Whitecotton, Perrion Winfrey has ties with the Jets because he was in New York briefly with Aaron Whitecotton, and Tanzel Smart, the assistant defensive line coach for the Cowboys, one of them was actually on that Jets team too. So I wanted to mention that. The 5 workouts: Winfrey, Levelston, Jacobs, Rochell, and Fant.